Hey, check this out. Hey, Charlie. Hey, stop that. Hey, stop that right here. Hey, stop it. I'm saying, what the fuck wrong with y'all? I ain't actually happy with y'all. I ain't happy about it. This ain't that type of show. Hey, you do it again, you don't get your face broken, this bitch, boy. Do it one more time. I saw you. And we gonna try it again. Say, Charlie, man, I ain't gotta fight, man. Hey, I'm doing the roller, boy, I'm telling you. Hey, come on, turn me up. Go to the next song, my dude.
That's right. NBA YoungBoy just lost it again, and the streets are buzzing. New footage shows the rapper getting into a wild brawl with one of his own day one homies, right after a concert that already spiraled into total chaos. Fans were tased, ushers got caught in the madness, and Market Street turned into straight pandemonium. Newark's night turned legendary for all the wrong reasons. This wasn't some random fight. This was war between rap camps, caught on camera for the world to see. Before we dive into the chaos, let's rewind for a second. You remember when YoungBoy's Masseur tour took over headlines, right? The hype was insane. The internet couldn't get enough. Kai Cenat was spotted wiping tears during YB's set, while DJ Academics went online calling him the king of rap. It was supposed to be YB's grand comeback, the moment he reminded everyone that despite the house arrest, the legal drama, and the constant controversy, he could still control a crowd like no one else. But like always with YB, the calm never lasts long. Fast forward to September 29th, 2025, at the Prudential Center in Newark. The show just ended. Lights cut off, crowd roaring. But behind that energy, tension was building like a storm. This wasn't a random club fight or fan scuffle. Nah, this was real street politics unfolding live. Someone had their phone out recording the whole thing, and now the footage has gone viral with over 1.2 million views in under 48 hours. The video shows YB's whole entourage, including his right-hand man Lil Tim, squaring up against a group of Lil Durk supporters who were out there chanting "Free Smurf" like they were leading a movement. It wasn't just disrespect, it was provocation, and it hit a nerve. Newark police tried to calm the scene, but you can hear people in the clip yelling, it's up," while others scrambled to pull YB back. And here's the crazy part. Insiders say the tension started inside the venue hours earlier. During Lil Tim's opening set, OTF fans began heckling from the stands, screaming Durk's name while surrounded by 14,000 YB fans. That's like walking into the lion's den wearing a steak suit, man. The disrespect was unreal. Tim reportedly fired back mid-performance, telling them, "We outside after the show," which only made the crowd wilder. You could feel the tension building, and everyone knew something was gonna pop off once the lights went out. By 10:30 p.m., when the concert wrapped, all that pent-up energy exploded onto Market Street. The crowd spilled into the road, fists flying, glass breaking, cops rushing in trying to separate both sides. Some fans were just trying to record, others got caught in the mix. It was chaos. Pure, unfiltered YB energy on full display. The streets of Newark had seen plenty before it, but nothing like this. And just like that, YoungBoy once again had the entire rap world watching, wondering how things got this out of hand. Now here's where things get crazy. The viral clip doesn't just show a scuffle, it captures the whole sequence, frame by frame, like a movie scene gone wrong. You see about 4 or 5 of Durk's supporters rolling up bold on YB's crew, who were at least 6 to 8 deep, right by a line of blacked out Escalades with the engines still running. It's late, the air's tense, and these OTF boys start running their mouths, yelling "Free Smurf" and "YB Wash" like they forgot exactly whose city they were standing in. But YB's team, they weren't backing down for a second. They start barking back, throwing up hand signs and shouting "Slat! Slat! Y'all ops get ghosted." The whole street started buzzing like something was about to explode. Then one of Durk's fans, clearly trying to prove something, steps forward and shoves one of YB's people while shouting, "Tell Durk we said what's up." And that's it. Game over. That shove lit the fuse. The fight that followed was short but brutal. 20 seconds of pure chaos that looked like something out of a World Star highlight reel. You got one shirtless Durk fan swinging wild at someone who looked just like Lil Tim in a black hoodie. Lil Tim ducked that punch smooth, clean as ever, and came back with a vicious right hook that sent the dude flying into a car hood like he got tackled by a linebacker. The metal bent, alarms started going off, and the whole block went wild. Then YB's squad swarmed in fast. We're talking 2-3 of his guys jumping in at once, throwing kicks, grabbing jackets, and yelling, "That's for that smirk talk." The dude who started it was covering up, screaming, "Chill, my bad." Ain't mean it like that, but it was too late. The moment that shove landed, the situation was done for. Chains were swinging, fists were flying. Somebody's phone light was flashing through the madness. The scene was total anarchy. Security didn't even have time to react. You can hear tires screeching in the background, people shouting, "It's YB's camp," while others were ducking behind cars trying to record from a distance. Newark police sirens can be faintly heard in the far background, but by then the damage was done. It was all caught on tape. Now here's the wildest part. Fans keep replaying this moment because of one mysterious figure in the background. About 10 feet away from the chaos, you can spot someone in a camouflage jacket, hood half up, standing calm while the fight erupts. From the side profile, it looks like NBA YoungBoy himself. You can see the person's mouth moving, gesturing toward the brawl, and fan edits have already dropped with subtitles claiming he's saying things like, "Handle that," or "Don't touch me, bro." Whether that's really YB or not, nobody can say for sure yet. But one thing's certain, this clip has the internet losing its mind. You can hear it clear as day. "Handle that slime." That's what fans claim YB shouted right before the clip cuts off, and just like that, the scene flips from chaos to pure panic. Sirens start wailing in the distance, Newark PD rolling deep, and the whole crowd scatters like a bomb just went off. YB's entourage dives into their Escalades, tires screeching, engines roaring, everyone peeling off into the night like they were never there. The aftermath, straight up messy, but not disastrous. Newark PD later called it a minor disturbance, even though it looked anything but minor on camera. No arrests were made that night, but officers logged every detail and beefed up patrols for the rest of the East Coast dates. The tension was already sky high, and now law enforcement had eyes all over YB's tour stops. Injuries seemed small, a few bruises, maybe a busted lip, but the internet made it look like a full-scale riot. In one follow-up clip, a fan can be heard yelling, "Yo, he dropped him," while someone else laughs nervously in the background. But what really got the web talking was what came after. One of the OTF fans who caught that fade posted a shaky selfie on Instagram stories. Swollen eye, split lip, whole face puffed up, with the caption, "YB Ops tried it. Free the real one." Then minutes later, he deleted it. Too late though, the screenshots were already everywhere. That kind of petty energy, that's exactly what keeps these rap beefs alive and burning hotter than ever. And it didn't take long for the suits to step in. Live Nation quickly released a statement saying they regret the post-event incidents outside the venue and are working with local authorities to enhance safety protocols. In other words, they saw the video, they know it's bad, and they're trying to do damage control before the next show. By the time YB rolled into Philadelphia on October 1st, the vibe had totally changed. Venues started locking things down, metal detectors at every entrance, stricter bag checks, and new signs that literally said, "No rival chance allowed." You could feel the fear in the air, but also the thrill. Fans knew they were stepping into something unpredictable. That's how wild things had gotten. Newark wasn't just another concert stop. It was the spark that showed just how tense this whole tour really is.
They usually keep one security nigga there. Well, they rushed them. So now everybody is running down to the floor seats and they just taking seats.
Because truth be told, this Masseur tour has been a magnet for mayhem from day one. It's like chaos follows YB wherever he goes. Now the question everyone's asking is simple. Is security just sleeping on the job? Or are they too scared to step between rap's biggest rivalries when the streets collide with the stage? Either way, Newark was just the beginning. And what came next made things look even darker. Social media went insane after that. But Newark wasn't even the first explosion on YB's Masseur tour. The madness actually started weeks earlier in Austin on September 6th, when a full-blown pit brawl broke out right in the middle of his performance of Lonely Child. Imagine it. YB's on stage, lights dim, pouring his heart out during one of his most emotional tracks, and suddenly the crowd turns into an MMA cage match. 5 or 6 fans in the pit start throwing wild punches, people ducking, arms flailing, and next thing you know, bodies are flying over the barriers like a mosh pit gone nuclear. Security jumped in fast, but not fast enough. Elbows were connecting, drinks were spilling, and fans were screaming. The whole thing was pure chaos. The DJ even cut the track while guards tried to separate everyone. The fight lasted maybe a minute and a half, but it was enough to stop the show cold. To his credit, YB handled it like a pro. He grabbed the mic and told the crowd, "Chill, slime, keep it peaceful." His tone was calm, but his eyes said he was done with the nonsense. Still, the damage was already done. The venue had to eject 3 fans and patch up a couple bruised egos. But the clip hit social media before the lights even came back on. Within hours, the hashtags were trending. YB show fight and Austin chaos. Then came Los Angeles on September 11th, and that's where things went from bad to straight wild. The Crypto.com arena was packed with over 20,000 people, energy through the roof, everyone screaming every word. But halfway through the set, chaos struck again. First incident, 2 women in the front row started going at it over a spilled drink. And this wasn't some light argument. It turned into full-on reality TV drama in real life. Hair pulling, purse swinging, heels flying. All while YB's trying to perform Feel Good. Fans were caught between recording the fight and the performance. Total madness. YB had to stop mid-song, step forward, and call them out directly saying, "Y'all came to fight or came to feel the music?" The crowd went crazy cheering, but you could tell he was irritated. Security separated the women and dragged them out, but the night still wasn't over. Just when things seemed calm again, during Outside Today, someone in the crowd decided to test their luck and threw a hoodie onto the stage. Now, if there's one thing YB doesn't tolerate, it's disrespect.
Hey, you do it, it's your face broken, boy. You a long time. I saw you. Hey, we gon' try to win and say, "Shawty, I ain't got a fight, man." Hey, don't do it, come on, boy.
Without missing a beat, he marched straight to the edge of the platform, pointing right at the person and shouting, "Who did that? Don't play with me like that." The whole arena went silent for a second. Cameras zooming in, fans whispering, until YB's security team spotted the guy and started moving his way. You could feel the tension rise, like something was about to pop again. And that was just the beginning of LA's madness. The next few minutes would turn that concert into one of the most talked about nights of the entire tour. The crowd went crazy. Cameras flashing, phones waving, fans screaming like it was the Super Bowl. But thankfully, the situation didn't spiral past words that night. Tension cooled down fast. One surprise guest, actress SC Jackson, was right there filming when that women's fight broke out. Later, she posted backstage selfies with YB, captioned, "Wild night, but vibes." The post blew up, instantly going viral and adding even more fuel to the chaos narrative surrounding the tour. That LA concert set the tone for everything that came next, because the very next stops took things from wild to downright unbelievable. And the incident that really shocked everyone, the one that made national news, went down in Kansas City on September 22nd. This wasn't fans swinging on each other or throwing drinks at the stage. This one hit different, darker. A clip started circulating online, originally posted by a user named @AWellAlzo, showing what looked like an unthinkable scene unfolding in the arena aisles. It showed a 14-year-old kid, later identified as Jaden Reed, straight up assaulting a 66-year-old usher over what started as a simple seating dispute. Let that sink in for a second. A teenager attacking an elderly man just trying to do his job. The footage is rough to watch. You can see Reed yelling, shoving the usher down a few steps, then slamming him into the seats before delivering over 10 punches to his face and body while screaming, "Back up off me!" The crowd nearby was frozen, some too shocked to move, others recording, shouting for security. It was pure madness. The victim, identified as Thomas Langa, suffered a concussion, heavy bruising, and several cuts. Reports later said he had to miss multiple weeks of work to recover. His family later launched a GoFundMe, and within days it raised over $12,000 to cover his medical bills and lost wages. The outpouring of support was strong, but so was the outrage. Fans flooded comment sections demanding accountability, questioning how a teen even got that close to the stage in the first place. And here's the wildest twist. The very same night, NBA YoungBoy was presented with a city proclamation for his Stop the Violence initiative. You can't make this up. One part of the arena was celebrating peace, while another was spiraling into violence, all during the same show. The irony had social media losing its mind. Police detained Reed at the scene, released him to his parents, and officially charged him with felony assault on October 1st. The T-Mobile Center later banned him for life, and the entire situation sparked a huge debate about concert safety, parenting, and how fast aggression spreads at these massive events. From Austin to LA to Kansas City, each stop kept getting wilder, and fans are now wondering, is YB cursed with chaos? Or is the tour itself turning into something way bigger than music? The Miami stop on October 13th turned into yet another wild chapter in this never-ending saga. Just when everyone thought the tour couldn't get any crazier, it did, and in the most Miami way possible. This time, it wasn't a fan fight or a crew clash, it was a full-blown tasing gone viral. The suspect? A 23-year-old, also named Jaden Reed, no relation to the Kansas City teen, but apparently carrying the same chaotic energy. According to the arrest report, this guy was in the crowd at the Cancellation Center having the time of his life until things went way left around 9:45 p.m. Witnesses say he started dancing up against a female Miami PD sergeant, grinding on her like it was a club, not a concert. When she ordered security to eject him, Reed refused, and that's when all hell broke loose. 2 officers moved in to remove him, but Reed resisted hard, flailing, yelling, and trying to break free. What happened next looked like something straight out of an action movie. All 4 of them tumbled 15 rows down the arena stairs, a rolling pile of arms, legs, and screams echoing through the crowd. People were filming from every angle, fans yelling, "Yo, this can't be real," as the scene unfolded right in front of them. Security tried to get control, but Reed kept fighting. They hit him with a taser twice, right to the chest, but it barely slowed him down. Eventually, backup officers swarmed in, pinned him to the ground, and finally cuffed him. Paramedics had to evaluate Reed and 4 injured officers right there in the stands before he was transported to Jackson Memorial Hospital for treatment. Then booked into jail on charges of battery on a law enforcement officer, resisting arrest with violence, and disorderly intoxication. And here's the craziest part. While all that was happening, the concert didn't even stop. YB kept performing like nothing happened, lights flashing, crowd still roaring. Streamer Atten Ross, who was supposed to attend that night, later admitted he was so paranoid, he hired 8 security guards and 3 undercover cops, and still ended up getting denied entry. That's the kind of fear this tour has created.
He's that nigga. Like, they would die for this nigga for real.
Clearly.
Like,
These
dead
shows
ass.
and the footage I'm seeing and the women that are going, the famous people that are going, the groups of men that are going, they singing every word. They all sell out.
It's chaos and fame wrapped in one explosive package. Online, things went absolutely nuclear. The Newark brawl clip was already trending, but the Miami footage sent it to a new level, blowing up under hashtags like hashtag YB versus Durk and massive chaos, pulling over 2.5 million impressions in just hours. The pro-YB crowd flooded Twitter with posts celebrating what they called slime defense. One viral tweet read, "Crew handled ops outside Newark. YB built different, no fold." And it racked up nearly 1,000 likes in minutes. Over on TikTok, memes started flying. Fight footage edited to the beat of Outside Today, getting hundreds of thousands of plays. Meanwhile, Durk's fans were clowning just as hard, posting sarcastic edits, pushing the hashtag #FreeSmirkTag past 45,000 impressions, and mocking YB's crew with captions like, "Can't stop the smoke, so they started one." At this point, it's not just a rap rivalry, it's a 2-front war. One side's fighting in the streets, the other's battling online, and every single concert seems to add another headline to the chaos that follows NBA YoungBoy everywhere he goes. What's becoming crystal clear is that the Missouri Tour is no longer just a series of concerts. It's turned into a rolling battlefield. Every city feels like a new front line where old beefs, deep street politics, and hardcore fan loyalty collide in the most unpredictable ways. What's supposed to be a music tour now looks more like a traveling war zone. And each stop just adds another layer of chaos to the legend of NBA YoungBoy. Security teams across the country are now scrambling, trying to figure out how to keep things from completely spiraling out of control. Metal detectors, bag bans, new ID policies. It's like every venue on the map is bracing for impact. The tour is still running through November with major stops left in cities like Atlanta, Houston, and Charlotte. But after everything that's happened, every single show feels like a gamble, especially since Chicago, one of the biggest shows on the entire schedule, got canceled out of nowhere.
Louisiana rapper NBA YoungBoy's Make America Slime Again tour will not be making a stop in Chicago. The United Center has canceled the concert.
That cancellation sent shockwaves through the entire hip-hop world. For weeks, people had been hyped about this one. September 24th, 2025, the night NBA YoungBoy was supposed to finally take the stage at the United Center in front of over 20,000 fans. This was meant to be his first ever Chicago performance, a huge milestone and a chance to silence the critics who said he'd never set foot in the same city connected to his biggest rival, Lil Durk. But then, boom! Out of nowhere, it was gone. Just one day before the show, on September 23rd, the United Center dropped a cold, emotionless statement that read, "The United Center has made the decision to cancel the NBA YoungBoy show scheduled for Wednesday, September 24th in Chicago. No warning, no reason, just canceled." Fans were blindsided. Tickets that started at $59.50 were instantly refunded by Ticketmaster, but thousands of people who bought through resale sites like StubHub and SeatGeek were left scrambling. People had flights, hotels, and weekend plans all gone in seconds. Social media exploded with anger, confusion, and conspiracy theories. The timing couldn't have been more suspicious, because think about it. This cancellation happened just one day after the Kansas City chaos, when the story about that 14-year-old fan assaulting an usher went viral. Some fans believe Chicago officials saw that news and decided they wanted no part of the potential madness. Others think it was deeper, that the lingering tension from the YB verses. Durk rivalry made performing in Durk's own backyard simply too dangerous to risk. Either way, that night became one of the most talked about non-events in hip-hop history. People were furious, disappointed, and suspicious all at once. For many fans, that cancellation proved what they've been whispering all along. This tour isn't just about music anymore. It's about survival, image, and control. And if Chicago's off the map, then the question becomes, what city's next to fall? Ever since King Von's death back in November 2020, everyone knew that if YB ever tried performing in Chicago, the tension would be through the roof. The city's been on edge for years because that tragedy wasn't just another rap beef gone wrong, it split the culture clean in half. So when news first broke that NBA YoungBoy was bringing his Masseur tour to the United Center, people already knew something could go down, and judging by what happened next, they were right to be worried. Even before the cancellation, the United Center had started making big moves to prepare for possible chaos. On September 20th, they announced a strict no-bag policy, and not even clear bags were allowed. That's a massive change from their usual 10 by 6 by 2 inch limit. Fans couldn't even bring small purses or camera bags inside. That announcement alone told everyone what was really going on. The venue was bracing for trouble, but apparently, even that wasn't enough to calm the nerves of city officials and venue management. Behind the scenes, things got tense, and YB's own team was furious. His manager, Alex Jewell, went on Instagram stories and called out the United Center directly, accusing them of backing out because, in his words, they got scared fans wouldn't have fun. He later deleted the post, but screenshots spread instantly. It was a bold accusation, and it showed just how heated things were getting behind closed doors. Then came YB's booking agent, Andrew Lieber, who backed him up on Twitter, posting, "Super disappointed in United Center and City of Chicago. This their decision." He went further, saying the venue got cold and made a unilateral decision that ignored the massive financial and reputational fallout it would cause. His post blew up, with fans flooding the comments saying Chicago folded under pressure. But now, here's where the story gets real. The true reason everyone believes the show got axed: the Lil Durk connection. This isn't your regular rap beef. This is a blood feud. It runs deep, and it's personal. Let's rewind. Back to November 6, 2020. That's the night King Von was killed outside an Atlanta nightclub. The shooter, a member of Quando Rondo's crew. And for anyone who knows the game, that connects directly back to NBA YoungBoy's Never Broke Again label, because Rondo is one of YB's artists. That moment didn't just ignite drama, it created permanent division. Von was Durk's close friend, practically his brother, and his death left scars across both their camps. Since then, every lyric, every post, every subliminal line between YB and Durk has been seen as part of that ongoing war. So when YoungBoy's team announced he'd be performing in Durk's own city, It wasn't just risky, it was almost symbolic, like stepping onto enemy turf. And that's why fans, and maybe even Chicago officials, believe this cancellation wasn't about logistics or security protocols. It was about history, emotion, and the kind of street energy that no metal detector in the world can contain. That connection, that even though YB wasn't directly involved, put him right in the crosshairs of OTF's retaliation machine. Ever since King Von's death, the streets have treated it like unfinished business, and every move YB makes feels like he's walking through enemy territory. Things escalated big time when Lil Durk himself got arrested back in October 2024 for allegedly plotting a murder for hire against Quando Rondo, supposedly as payback for Von's death. That case turned the entire hip-hop scene upside down, and with his trial set for January 2026, Durk is now sitting in federal custody, facing serious time. With Durk behind bars, his OTF movement has gone full force, treating him like a martyr and turning every YB appearance into a protest zone. Fans across the country started chanting "Free Smirk" at YoungBoy shows, and that alone has turned regular concerts into powder kegs waiting to explode. It's wild. At YB's Houston show on September 7th, he even took direct aim at Durk on stage, saying, "When you stand on business, a lot of people don't like it." He then teased a full performance of his brutal diss track, "I Hate YoungBoy." The crowd went insane. But that moment right there proved this beef wasn't cooling down. It was heating up again. Now let's be real. Chicago is Durk City, OTF's home turf. Trying to bring NBA YoungBoy there was like lighting a match in a gas station. The fears weren't exaggerated. They were real and specific. People inside the industry started whispering that O-Block, the Southside neighborhood tied to OTF, might try to make a statement if YB stepped foot on stage. It got so intense that even Kayla B, King Von's sister, jumped online to address it. She posted on X, formerly Twitter, celebrating the cancellation and saying, "Anybody risking their life to do some crash out dumb stuff like that is insane. Y'all gotta be smarter." That's Von's own family basically co-signing the venue's decision, because they knew how dangerous it could have gotten. Meanwhile, social media lit up with unverified but explosive claims that 30 to 40 OTF affiliates were spamming the United Center with threats and phone calls, allegedly harassing the staff until they had no choice but to cancel the event. Whether that's fact or just internet exaggeration, the panic it caused was very real. Fans online were split between calling it a safety precaution and calling it a street win. And just when you thought it couldn't get messier, rumors started flying that YB's camp had allegedly reached out to Chicago's gangster disciples for extra security coverage, a move that could have created a whole new set of problems. Because if that were true, it would have drawn direct attention from Chicago PD, who definitely wouldn't have allowed rival gang presence inside a packed arena of 20,000 people. All this chaos, the canceled show, the online threats, the rival factions, proves one thing. This tour isn't just a rap event anymore. It's a dangerous collision of fame, loyalty, and real-life street politics. But let's be real. The Durk beef might not be the only reason Chicago got canceled. There are multiple theories floating around online, and each one adds another layer to this wild story. Some fans and insiders believe it had less to do with street politics and more to do with the tour's pattern of violence catching up to it. Even YB's own mother weighed in on the situation. In a now viral clip, she said, "I guess for safety reasons, it was good it was called off. But we put a lot of money into this." That one sentence said it all. She's acknowledging the chaos from places like Newark and Kansas City while still sounding frustrated at the huge financial loss. You could tell she was torn between relief and disappointment. Relief that nothing tragic happened, and anger that so much time and money went down the drain. And honestly, her point makes sense. The strict no-bag policy that the United Center rolled out before the cancellation fits perfectly with that safety angle. It's clear they were already worried about weapons or dangerous objects slipping through. The venue was trying everything possible to prevent another headline-grabbing moment, but apparently even that wasn't enough to calm their nerves. They wanted zero risk, and YB's history of rowdy crowds made them nervous. But then came another theory, one that sent the internet into a frenzy. According to whispers from Live Nation sources, and let's be clear, this part isn't officially confirmed, The venue allegedly demanded that YB remove his diss track, I Hate YoungBoy, from his set list. Supposedly, they were worried the song could trigger the crowd, especially in Chicago, where emotions run deep. They feared that performing it live might lead to fans rushing the stage or even starting fights in the stands. Apparently, YB's response was a hard no. He refused to change his lineup, reportedly saying that I Hate YoungBoy is one of his biggest records, and he's not about to let anyone censor him or control his artistic expression. If that's true, it tells you everything about how tense things were behind the scenes. The idea of a venue trying to edit a rapper's set list out of fear? That's wild. Some fans have started calling the whole situation venue overreach. Others believe it was bias, plain and simple. They argue that the United Center and city officials judged YB and his fan base before he even arrived, assuming chaos would follow him everywhere. Even YB's manager, Alex Jewer, hinted at that same frustration, calling staff scary and accusing them of pulling the plug based on stereotypes, not facts. Whether it was fear, politics, or prejudice, one thing's clear. Something behind the scenes pushed that cancellation over the edge. And whatever it was, it proved just how volatile this tour had become. So explosive that even one of the biggest arenas in the country didn't want to take the risk. There's always been this deep tension in hip-hop, the way certain venues label some artists as high risk just because of their image or their past. Sometimes it's about real security concerns, but other times it feels like straight-up discrimination dressed up as caution. And with NBA YoungBoy, that line gets blurry real fast. His tour has been so unpredictable that some cities started treating every stop like a potential security emergency. The gang coordination rumors made everything even messier. Reports started circulating that it wasn't just O-Block making noise. There were whispers about YB's team allegedly trying to coordinate with GD, Gangster Disciples, for protection inside Chicago. Now, whether that's true or just exaggerated internet gossip, it put everyone on edge. Because if police got even a hint that rival street crews might show up at the same concert, there's no way they'd allow that event to go forward. The Chicago PD couldn't risk looking like they were enabling or turning a blind eye to any possible gang activity. Not in a city already known for street politics. So if they caught wind of those conversations, even secondhand, they probably pressured the United Center hard to pull the plug. Behind the scenes, that's likely what sealed the deal. But here's the twist. The cancellation backfired. Instead of slowing YB down, it boosted him. In the week after Chicago got canceled, his MAA album streams jumped 8% across all platforms. Once again, controversy became his best promotion. Nothing sells in hip-hop like chaos, and this moment proved it. The more they tried to silence him, the louder his name got. The irony is wild. By trying to prevent potential violence, they ended up amplifying the very thing they were trying to shut down.
He's that nigga. Like, they will die for this nigga, for real.
Clearly.
Like,
These
dead
shows
ass.
and the footage I'm seeing and the women that are going, the famous people that are going, the groups of men that are going, they singing every word. They all
word.
sell out.
Fans started seeing YB as the underdog fighting an unfair system, while Durk's camp doubled down with loyalty posts and subliminals. Suddenly, both sides were trending again, and every playlist, tweet, and TikTok was talking about this beef like it was brand new. And Chicago wasn't the only venue that folded. Just a week later, YB's Detroit concert at Little Caesars Arena was canceled too, on October 6th. That's two major Midwest cities backing out in less than 10 days. Detroit officials didn't offer any detailed explanation, but the timing was too close to be coincidence. It looked like the Midwest venues were working together, quietly sharing intel and deciding it wasn't worth the risk to host YB during this turbulent stretch. Through all of this, YB stayed silent. No posts, no interviews, no rants. And honestly, that might be the smartest move he's made all year. With Lil Durk's federal trial coming up in early 2026, anything he says could be twisted or used against him in ways we can't even imagine. But one thing's for sure, this whole mess opened a bigger conversation across hip-hop. Should artists be punished for their past? Or should the industry stop treating rap beef like it's a public safety crisis? Because whether it's about street politics, fear, or flat-out bias, these cancellations showed the world that YB isn't just fighting rivals anymore. He's fighting the system itself. It's a tough question. Is it fair to punish an artist for threats made by others, even if those threats are tied to that artist's circle or choices? There's no easy answer to that, and that's what makes this whole Chicago situation so controversial. The United Center cancellation isn't just about one missed concert. It's now being studied as a case study in how real-life street tension and modern hip-hop beef collide with the business side of the industry. It's the perfect storm where music, money, and mayhem all meet. Because make no mistake, the ongoing war between NBA YoungBoy and Lil Durk isn't some lightweight internet feud that dies after a few diss tracks. Nah, this is the DNA of a modern hip-hop war. It's deep, emotional, and rooted in loyalty, blood, and survival. This beef shaped careers, changed alliances, and even shifted how labels handle artist security. What started as competition turned into something darker, something that left real scars in both the streets and the studios. To really understand how we got here, you gotta go back further than most people think. Before 2020, before all the viral disses and fan wars, there were already quiet tensions bubbling between YB's Baton Rouge street rap movement and Durk's Chicago drill empire. Both men were young, hungry, and on the rise. Two self-made forces who built their legacies off authenticity and street respect. Fans loved them because they were real, but that same realness is what eventually tore everything apart. Around 2019, YB started collaborating heavily with Quando Rondo, one of the most loyal artists on his Never Broke Again label. That move sparked whispers online. Because Quando's energy didn't mix well with the Chicago scene, you'd see small clashes pop up at industry events, comment sections lighting up with subliminals, crews taking shots in interviews. Nothing major at first, just the usual rap ego battles. But those little sparks were setting up something far bigger. Then came the night that changed everything. November 6th, 2020, Atlanta, outside the Monaco Hookah Lounge. That's where King Von, Lil Durk's close friend, and OTF label mate ran into Quando Rondo's crew. What started as a simple confrontation turned ugly fast. Von reportedly stepped forward to confront Quando, and within seconds, fists were flying. Then, gunshots. In the chaos, Von was hit multiple times and later pronounced dead. The alleged shooter, Timothy Leaks, said to be Rondo's cousin, was arrested and charged with murder. That was the moment everything flipped. What was once just rap competition turned into blood feud history. Leaks claimed self-defense and was eventually released in 2022, but by then, the damage was done. The streets took sides, social media became a battleground, and every lyric YB or Durk dropped from that point on was dissected like evidence in a case file. The industry didn't just watch, it changed around that moment. This wasn't just music beef anymore. It was a modern saga of power, loss, and legacy, written in real time. Now here's why this hit different. King Von wasn't just some random casualty. He had already been firing lyrical shots at YB long before that tragic night. Back in 2018, Von dropped his breakout song Crazy Story and slipped in lines that fans later realized were aimed at NBA YoungBoy, accusing him of acting tough online, but not living that life for real. So when Von was killed by someone from Quando Rondo's crew, and Rondo was one of YB's closest artists, the streets immediately drew the connection. Even though YB wasn't anywhere near the scene, Lil Durk and OTF saw it as personal. After the shooting, YB posted mourning Von on Instagram, but that olive branch didn't last long. Quando Rondo went online celebrating the situation before apologizing, but by then, the damage was done. In Durk's eyes, that moment crossed a line that could never be uncrossed. From then on, his loyalty to Von's memory meant one thing: war with anyone tied to NBA YoungBoy. The tension exploded into music in 2021 and 2022. YB started it off with his From the Bayou mixtape, dropping a track called Turbulence, and he didn't hold back. He rapped, "Von ain't get his lil self out the way. This, that, Squid Game, O-Block, get wrapped up. No subliminals, no guessing." It was a direct shot at Von's death and his crew's neighborhood. The disrespect was loud, and OTF heard it clear. Durk fired right back with Backdoor in March 2021, a cold track about betrayal, coded revenge, and staying loyal to fallen brothers. But the nuclear moment came in January 2022 when YB dropped his now infamous 7-minute diss track, I Hate YoungBoy. He didn't just come for Durk. He called out Gucci Mane, Lil Baby, Boozy, India Royale, and even King Von himself. The song went viral instantly with gut punch lines like Durk dead, That boy don't miss me, whole block shooting like we miss him. Hours later, Durk responded with aha, throwing shade at YB's house arrest and mocking his legal situation with bars about dropping locations and getting it done. The back and forth became more than rap. It was warfare through speakers. Then came the ripple effect. 21 Savage revealed in September 2021 that YB was being blackballed in the industry because of his beef with Durk. Big-name artists were reportedly avoiding collaborations out of fear of upsetting OTF connections. That revelation showed just how deep this feud had reached, from the streets to the streaming charts to the boardrooms of major labels. Still, both artists were dominating. I Hate YoungBoy and Aha both debuted in the top 10 on the Billboard Hot 100, proof that controversy sells records. But not everyone was impressed. Even 50 Cent chimed in during September 2024, calling the feud corny and saying Durk had an unfair advantage while YB was locked up and couldn't fight back on equal ground. Meanwhile, the internet was exploding. Twitter was flooded with hashtag YB versus Durk hashtags, fan-made memes, lyric breakdowns, and millions of impressions. Some treated it like entertainment, but others, including outlets like Complex Magazine, started warning that this was no longer just rap beef. The violence, they said, was too real, and the legal side only made it worse. By August 2022, federal investigators were reportedly digging into an alleged murder-for-hire plot that linked Durk to an attempt on Quando Rondo, supposedly revenge for Von's death. Durk wasn't officially charged until October 2024, but the feds had been watching closely the whole time. Meanwhile, YB had his own problems. He got sentenced to 23 months on gun charges in December 2023 and was sent to federal prison in March 2025. Even locked up, the beef followed him. It wasn't just a rivalry anymore, so it had become a movement, a curse, and a mirror of how deep the streets and the industry are still connected. Even behind bars at Talladega, FCI, NBA, YoungBoy couldn't escape the tension. Word spread fast that he got into a physical altercation with an inmate allegedly linked to OTF, the same camp tied to Lil Durk. Witnesses say the dude started shouting OTF down the tier, trying to get under YB's skin. But according to Terrence Gangsta Williams, Birdman's own brother, YB wasn't about to let that slide. Williams claimed YB stood on business and handled it himself before guards rushed in to break it up. That's wild because it shows how deep this feud really cuts. It's not just online smoke or lyrical jabs. This is real-world energy that follows these two camps everywhere. But here's where things get really crazy. There have actually been multiple attempts to squash the beef, and every single one has blown up in flames. In May 2023, DJ Academics went live on Twitch and shocked everyone by claiming YB and Durk had officially squashed their beef. Even Durk liked the post, and what fans believed was one of YB's burner accounts reposted it too. The internet lost its mind. Twitter threads, memes, celebration edits, over 15,000 likes in hours. Fans thought this was the end of one of hip-hop's deadliest rivalries. But that peace didn't last long. By December 2023, the same energy that brought them together tore them apart again. Durk threw slick shots online, accusing YB of posting fake addresses, and YB fired back with a savage response. Bro, my probation officer gotta approve it. Y'all gonna make me go back to jail. Just like that, the fragile truce was gone, shattered by pride, paranoia, and pressure from the streets. Then, in May 2024, another attempt popped up when Gilly Dockhead made a passionate public plea for unity at Gilly Fest. YB even responded, calling the feud all entertainment, and dropped a bombshell, saying he and Durk talk every 2 or 3 nights about music. Fans couldn't believe it. The idea of two rivals talking privately while dissing each other in public had people's heads spinning. But anyone who knows the game knows peace never lasts when money, ego, and legacy are on the line. By the end of 2024, that short-lived calm was gone again. The fans didn't want reconciliation. They wanted drama. And the streets? They demanded loyalty. Neither side could afford to look weak, and that unspoken pressure crushed any shot at real peace. By mid-2025, as YB's Mature Tour kicked off, the beef had officially reignited. Every stop felt like a potential battleground. OTF fans were popping up in crowds chanting "Free Smirk" just to provoke his team. And that's exactly what led to the Newark brawl we talked about earlier, the kind of street-style showdown everyone was hoping to avoid. And then came the Chicago cancellation, the final confirmation that this feud had gone beyond music. It wasn't just about records or clout anymore, it was shaping business decisions, venue policies, and city politics. At this point, it's clear. The YB versus. Durk saga has evolved into something way bigger than hip-hop beef. It's a full-blown movement, one that shows just how hard it is to find peace when pride, loss, and loyalty are written into every lyric. King Von's death still casts a massive shadow over everything. Even years later, it's powerful enough to shut down major concerts. The Chicago cancellation proved that the tragedy isn't just history, it's still shaping the present. Von's sister, Kayla B, made that clear when she reacted online, celebrating the cancellation and saying it was the right call. To Von's family and the OTF camp, this isn't entertainment, and it's definitely not something that can be patched up with a quick phone call. For them, it's personal, and it's permanent. Meanwhile, NBA YoungBoy couldn't resist taking subtle shots that same month. During his Houston concert on September 7th, he fired off a slick diss aimed right at Lil Durk, saying, "When you stand on business, a lot of people don't like it," before teasing a performance of "I Hate YoungBoy." That one move was like pouring gasoline on a fire that never really died. It reminded everyone that despite all the talk about unity, the tension is still alive and burning hot. Over on the other side, Lil Durk has been mostly quiet, but for good reason. He's currently in federal custody, with his trial set for January 2026, and the case itself is deeply connected to the same chain of events that started this entire war. Prosecutors allege the murder-for-hire plot tied to Quando Rondo was motivated by revenge for King Von's death. It's wild how everything keeps circling back. Von, Rondo, YB, all connected in ways that keep this feud alive, no matter how many times people try to move on. But here's the twist. The alliances in hip-hop are starting to shift. Recently, Lil Baby, who's always been cool with both sides, was caught liking YB's social media posts. That's no small thing. Baby has ties to OTF through collaborations with Durk, but also respecting YB's lane. That one move had fans speculating like crazy. Could Baby be trying to bridge the gap, or is he quietly picking a side? Either way, the industry's paying close attention. Everyone's watching to see how this plays out once Durk's trial begins. Will it finally close the chapter on this beef by taking Durk out of the equation for good? Or will it turn him into a martyr, strengthening OTF's loyalty and fueling an even deeper desire for revenge? Online, the fan discourse is split right down the middle. You've got one group still hyped, posting memes and captions like "Escalate the YB versus," Durk vibes, treating the whole thing like a movie. But others are over it, flooding comment sections with stuff like "corny as heck" and "let it go already." The truth is, this feud has gone beyond songs and social media. It's become part of both artists' identities. For better or worse, NBA YoungBoy and Lil Durk's names are now permanently intertwined. The beef has shaped their music, their image, and even their ability to tour freely. It's no longer just a storyline, it's a legacy, carved in loss, loyalty, and the unshakable weight of what started it all. At this point, the fallout from this beef has bled into everything, from industry relationships to real-life freedom. Lil Durk is literally facing serious federal time, and a huge part of that case traces back to revenge motives connected to this entire saga. Think about that. A rap feud that started with songs and pride has spiraled so far that it's now affecting careers, reputations, and even court sentences. That's not entertainment anymore. That's legacy-level drama that's rewritten both their paths. What's crystal clear now is this. This feud isn't ending with a handshake, an interview, or some surprise "we're good" collaboration. The roots are too deep, the loss is too personal, and the pride too heavy. This isn't just two rappers dissing each other. This is generational street tension that's been dressed up in platinum records and Instagram lives. The consequences have been brutal, and the scars are permanent. As long as both NBA YoungBoy and Lil Durk stay active in music, this rivalry will never fully fade. It'll just simmer in the background, waiting for one lyric, one performance, or one social post to spark another wave. Every time YB drops a new project or Durk makes a move online, fans start dissecting every line, every gesture. hunting for subliminals like detectives. It's like a cold war in hip-hop. No official shots, but tension humming beneath the surface at all times. And that's the scary part. It's not about whether it ends anymore. The real question is, how much more damage will it cause before it finally burns out? Because if history's taught us anything, it's that these kinds of feuds never end quietly. They fade with consequences, scars, and a trail of what-ifs. So while fans keep choosing sides, while blogs keep running headlines, and while both artists keep chasing their own forms of redemption, the truth remains the same. This isn't just beef. It's the story of two men who became symbols for everything raw and unfiltered about hip-hop's reality. And as long as that reality exists, this feud isn't going anywhere. And that's where it all comes full circle. The saga of NBA YoungBoy versus Lil Durk, one of the most intense, unpredictable, and defining rivalries in modern hip-hop history. What started as competitive fire between two young rappers turned into a decade-long street legend, one written in music, tragedy, and survival. From King Von's death to canceled tours, federal charges, and viral fights, this feud has gone beyond lyrics. It's shaped careers, culture, and the entire industry. When you look at where things stand now, it's not just two men trading disses, it's two empires built on loyalty, pride, and pain. YB built his name off standing alone, refusing to bow to industry politics, while Durk built an army around family, loss, and revenge. Both have scars, and both turn those scars into soundtracks for a generation that doesn't just listen to rap, it lives it. But the cost has been heavy. Concerts canceled, fans divided, brands distancing themselves, all because hip-hop's biggest story refuses to fade. You can feel it in every viral clip, every free smirk chant, every TikTok remix of I Hate YoungBoy. The energy is still there, raw and dangerous. The question isn't whether the beef will end, it's what will be left standing when it finally burns out. Behind the headlines and the hype, though, there's something deeper, a reflection of how powerful this culture really is. Hip-hop has always been a mirror of real life. Loyalty, betrayal, revenge, redemption. The same stories that play out in the streets get amplified through beats, bars, and billions of streams. And no matter how chaotic this feud has gotten, it's also proof that pain and art can exist side by side, even when it's messy, even when it's violent, even when it's too real for comfort. As Durk faces his biggest trial yet and YB keeps testing the limits of his freedom, the next chapter isn't just about who wins. It's about whether hip-hop itself can grow past the cycle that made them both icons and targets. Because at this point, they're not just rappers, they're symbols, and symbols never die easy. So whether you're hashtag Team YB or hashtag Team Durk, one thing's undeniable. This story changed the game forever. The music, the mayhem, the movement, it's all part of the same legacy. And if the past few years proved anything, it's that the streets will always have something to say, even when the mics go silent. This is BarzBuzz, where hip-hop meets the truth, unfiltered and unapologetic. Hit that subscribe, click the card on your screen, and stay locked in, because the next saga's already brewing. And trust me, you won't want to miss it. If this saga had you shook, wait till you see what's next. You already know what it is. BarzBuzz got the real, raw, and unfiltered breakdowns. So don't forget to like and subscribe, drop a comment, and share this with someone who needs to catch up.